We did not win. And by we, I mean me. Since I didn't get 50 cents.
Brother, we haven't been winning for decades.
I haven't gotten $1 from you on to split this lottery ticket. But yeah, no, it didn't pan out for us.
I've been secretly playing the lottery for 3 weeks.
Have you? Well, I mean, desperation breeds innovation, I guess.
These are desperate times, my friend.
Oh my God,
these are desperate times.
I know we've stricken work off the list of talkable topics because your man in charge, whose name we won't say, but
situation's understood, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You decided that that was the option for you, and I decided that was not the play for me.
This is how bad times are. I'm drinking a goddamn Coke Zero.
Oh, I don't
that one of Natalia's friends brought over the last time they were down that we had any company, and it's been sitting in the fridge. I had gotten a few monsters and was excited. I'll have my monsters through the weekend. Guess who left his monsters in his work truck? So when he woke up today, he didn't have a cold monster. This was the only fucking cold thing other than a what's that off-brand seltzer beer garbage shit people love? It's not the Bud Light stuff.
The Claw?
True? Not Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that stuff is. And she won't let me throw it out. I'm like, listen, it's garbage. Why are we? By the way, if you drink that, man, you got to reassess your life.
Throw it out and say you drank it.
Yeah. Oh no, she'll never believe that. She knows I ain't drinking that shit,
man. Say Ben came over and threw them out.
God damn.
Don't say Ben came over and drank them.
I'd rather you drink like PBR. And that's fucking seltzer garbage.
That says a lot.
Fucking Christ, man.
That's saying a lot.
Dude, I remember we used to...
Are you wearing your pajama bottoms?
I am fucking wearing my pajamas.
Did you walk over here and with...
Dude, I am in... I woke up and I don't give a fuck mode.
Yeah.
Like, this week was
This is good.
This week was really trying for me. And like yesterday, I just like had a very extended... inside look on how things have gotten to where they're at.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk to you off this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, so where would you put on a scale of 1 to Sean Prime? Where would you mark the Marco Misery Index at today?
Oh, I'm a listen. I got all right. So
because usually I have to go online for the radar.
To
know, because I'm like, I'm within the blast zone.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
I'm gonna say this. I woke up and for the first time in months,
yeah, I
ripped a fucking bowl before I came over here. So I'm fucking absolutely annihilated.
Oh, wait a minute. You're always taking.
No, like okay, so.
Oh, you got your little pen.
So like the pen.
See, I don't know the difference.
The pen high is what I call my. I can. It's my everyday. Like I can work. I can converse. I can drive.
So
I can
that's
eat,
like taking. That's like taking a.
It's like Advil.
Yes. There
this
you go.
This is like fucking Advil. That's ibuprofen. Is all it is.
And let's say the other one's like taking.
This is real weed. I am blasted.
It's like taking 2 morphine pills.
So I'm at like a 5. I'm good. I'm an SP 5.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. It's just been frustrating, and
I don't know if 5 is a 5 out of 10 or a 5
5 out of 10.
Okay.
I probably woke up at a 7.
Because there are 5-star ratings.
Yeah, I probably woke up at a 7. So
okay.
I was just, but that carried over from yesterday, and this has nothing to do with
so maybe,
my marriage or anything like that.
So
I don't want anyone to misconstrue anything. I'm very happily married.
Maybe nuking a hurricane would work.
Oh man, I took myself off the internet yesterday at about 5 because I was like, nope, done. I think I popped on the thread a few times, but that was that. And I played political and nice with everybody because I was like, I don't want to get into it. I was thinking it was like there's very few people, and here's the thing we could talk about because maybe you've experienced this too. Have you ever like, all right, so you have different conversations with different people in your lives. There are some things you tell people that you can't. Some things I can tell you, I absolutely can't tell anybody else.
Right.
You have that with everyone you come across. Well, there's some people that you can actually confide in, like really confide in, and there's some people that you absolutely cannot confide in, no matter how close or connected they are, because they don't know how to do anything else but like equate their pain with yours. So it just becomes.
You mean make it about them?
Yes, yes. So it just becomes a battle over who can have the shittier day or the shittier life or whatever the fuck it is.
Is
there a name for those people?
Well, I mean, making it about you is different than being what I call a topper, which means no matter what story you have, they can top that. You know, it's close because it still makes it about them.
Yeah, but
it's also adding that extra element of competition.
Yeah. I fell too. Then got bit by a dog.
It's not that selfish. At some level, it's selfishness kind of thing. But then there's also the added competitive level of being a topper. So I don't know if you're referring to if you're just
no, because those people I don't confide certain things in those people. Those are the kind of people that you have
We've worked for a topper.
Yeah, you have very surface conversations.
Someone's
with
still
them,
working for a topper,
and you just get through it.
You blow right through my comments.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm blasting right through that, buddy. You know when you're working with that guy, so you know where the line is, where you just we can't have certain conversations,
right?
Whatever it is. But there are people that you otherwise will confide almost anything else into. But then there's certain you just really every time you do it just becomes me too and it's kind of like, motherfucker.
You need someone that has had little to no life experience, so they can't compare it to their own life.
You can just a living stress doll.
It's it's a step above talking to your dog or a wall.
So yeah,
it's just a way to vent out loud like you would do by yourself, except it's almost pretending like you're talking to someone, but they're basically an empty shell.
Yeah. And it's
this is not the case, I guess.
No, it's not, and this isn't it's. I'm not trying to degrade anybody. I'm not trying to I'm not talking shit or nothing like that. I just noticed this, because I'll have I'll just have to say something to somebody, just if for nothing else, just for my, my health. I just need to I need to expunge this thought to another living soul, and I usually have a few people I talk to about certain things. I think we all do. You just know the person that's going to give you the right answer, whether you like it or not.
I feel
like I come to you for stuff because you've lived a lot more life than me.
So, hold on.
One that's not calling out your age. It's calling out your wisdom. You're an older man, sir. You're wise.
I feel like in some ways you've lived a more I don't know. You and I have both lived a life of variety.
Yes,
but they've been different. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
because I'll say the last 10 years I haven't lived that much life.
Yeah. but knowing all the different places, people, and situations.
That's a lie, actually.
You can, we can have those conversations. We're my
just bury him. Say a name.
No, like my nephew, the guy that the kid that I take out flying with me. Kids, he's smart.
Hold on a second. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But let's pause on that name you gave him.
Yeah.
Like this whole nephew thing. It's bordering on the nephew-son thing.
Oh, fair enough. I always thought that was going to come back.
He's not. Okay, and that...
Well, listen, he calls me Uncle Marco.
Okay.
I've known the kid since he was 3 years old.
Okay.
And we've... I'm very good friends with his mother and father.
But if you're not... listen, if you're not, in any way marriage or blood related to him, uncle's a stretch. You have to qualify in some other way, like cutting the bottoms out of your pockets and having him reach for fucking keys or something. There's got to be some reason he calls you uncle.
Because he's known me his entire life.
Okay.
I
get it.
I've helped raise him.
I get it.
So, but talking to him about stuff, it's like he's bright and young, but he has no wisdom. He's done nothing in his life. He's 18 years old. He has, Well,
also that family's a little bit of the homeschooly type. I don't know if he was.
No.
But I feel like I feel like coming from that family dynamic, you may not be.
No, the other two kids are in school.
Okay, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is like that homeschool.
But they're very
life's
tight
a
knit.
little-
They're a very tight knit family. Yeah.
No. But I'm saying you don't. It means you don't get out much. You don't have those like, those. Your experiences also involve things like exposing yourself to others, and it's like if you're not going to public school, you're. I feel like you're behind the 8 ball.
No, it's 100%.
Always.
I was homeschooled for 2 years.
Yeah, but then.
And then when I was reintroduced back into the public school wild, that transition was a fucking hard one, man.
When you were released back into the wild, you touched grass for the first time in your life.
Just danced around, splash. It was an incredible moment. No, it was because like you, especially when I was in high school, you had all these. I mean, I guess I knew. You know what? No, fuck that. Every generation has their clear set of factions in high school.
Cliques and stuff.
Yeah. It didn't.
Let's
matter
not get into.
Yeah,
but we know which. I know which clique you were in.
But no, it was hard. It was hard because I you know me. I don't want anyone to hate me. It just ends up happening that way.
Here, but let's clear something out. Let's clear something up. You say that, and you may have a few back and forth feelings between a select few people that are stronger on the hate scale.
Yeah.
But on the like scale, you have way more friends than I do. Okay, there are more people that like you and reach out to you, and I have a very I've a very hermited life these days. So
you're like Obi-Wan.
You say like you're like a hated person. You're not. You're just hated by a select few, maybe more than I'm hated by a select few. The hate is stronger. That's all. But the love is also stronger. I think. Nobody likes me. Come on.
I like you, Ben.
Well, that's all that matters.
Like grumpy Ben.
So, I know. Oh, your nephew.
So
air quote nephew.
But you could talk to it was like we were talking about having like that almost like that stress, because I can expel my thoughts on him, and I know he has no idea what I'm talking about,
right?
Because he just hasn't lived.
Yeah.
In 20 years we can have a conversation, but right now and he does I get it. I know he doesn't get it.
Now in 20 years he'll just be doing something, and all of a sudden he'll his eyes will look away for a second, like he's thinking, and he'll go, "Oh," and he'll then have gotten something that Uncle Marco said from 20 years ago.
It's funny because I do that now.
Yeah,
I'll do that now. Every now and then something will happen, and I'll think back to something my dad told me. And I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Wisdom hits you.
Oh, this is probably married life and kid life stuff, because I don't know what else he would have said at this point that you wouldn't be clicking with.
Well, no, just
and it's something he could say to you on the side, and he probably even knows you won't get it now, but but at least he could get it off his chest.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my dad did that shit to me. I'm gonna do it to my kid. Okay, it's therapeutic, sir.
I mean, therapeutic to you
because you're not talking to yourself in a car, so it makes you feel better, even though you may as well be talking to yourself in a car.
But it might be continuing intergenerational damage you're doing.
It's just spelling all this pain and regret and anger. Yeah. And this poor kid is just absorbing it from a figure that he respects. Oh, shit.
Kid doesn't realize you're punching yourself in the balls metaphorically over and over again. But one day he will. Yeah. But he'll only realize it because he's now doing it to his kid.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that.
No, so it's just been, it was just, oh, God. It was just a very, very stressful week. But, I got to sleep in, and then I text you pretty much when I woke up.
Yeah, I only woke up because I didn't want to have that thing where I wake up and I see in the group chat, from an hour ago, I'm still waiting to hear from Ben to see when we're podcasting.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will not be the one.
And I will not be the one. So that's how we're going to make this sure
that
yeah.
be a command Saturday. Every Saturday is going to like inch earlier to Friday night.
We don't trust each other enough. So the time that first contact happens, it's a go.
Yeah, I was just thankful that when you messaged me and I replied back, you saw it right away, because you have this habit.
Oh yeah,
you have this habit where you will literally write a message that engages conversation with either one or several,
and then disappear,
and then immediately take the phone, turn it upside down, and put it somewhere out of reach, as if you're not expecting someone to respond to that, when clearly it is something that people are going to respond to, or it's a question you ask that you need information for. Either way, you will write your sentence, put the phone down, and not look at it for 45 minutes. And we're all sitting here going, well, I guess we're not talking about that. Or we have the whole conversation in the group one.
Yeah.
And then you show up later and you're like, oh, okay. Let me go back and read through this.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't explain myself. I have no excuses. That's just how I am with the phone, man, nowadays.
I feel like if I just bring it up every now and then, that maybe you will eventually become aware of it.
Yeah.
Not that you might do anything about it. You might just go, oh, I'm doing it again, and still do it.
Well, and here's the thing, like, at bat, and it's, you have no idea, but like times of my day where I don't want to hear from anybody, or I can't because something's really going on, you'll send me like 3 TikToks in a row, and I'll be like, that's awesome, Ben. I'll find time for this kind of stuff.
Well, but I don't have time to wait to send it to you.
Yeah.
Later. If I don't send it to you now, you're not going to get it.
And you'll never
and you need to see these things. Yeah. These are important. These are important memes and TikToks. These are very important. You don't have to see them this second. That's okay.
You just have to know they exist.
You have to yes, you just have to at some point scroll back up and actually watch them all, or I will take offense.
There are important moments in life. Oh,
because I feel like I only send the good stuff, so it'd be.
And you do go through quite an amount of TikToks in your day.
Well, not in my day. What happens is, like at night, I feel is when the best stuff is out there. So I'll like, either when I'm watching TV, I might scroll through for an hour while I'm watching something and send a bunch, or when I'm like going to sleep at like 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning or 4 in the morning, whenever the fuck it is, depending on my employment these days, I'll be scrolling for an hour or 2 in bed, and just, if it's a good night, you could get 10 to wake up to, or you could get 1, I don't just send 10 to send 10. So well, lately with the Bernie stuff, it's just been out of control. I've been having to like actually decide not to send good stuff, because I feel like
it's become it's
like,
a lot. It's
like,
a lot.
It's like in wrestling. If you hit someone over the head with a chair every week, it ceases to become special. No matter how impactful it is every time you do it, it's still watered down. So you have to do the once a month or once every other month thing in the wrestling world with that. With this, it's like if I said, because the Bernie meme is so powerful and so strong, and the fact that it's only existed since fucking Wednesday. Think about this.
It's a lot, man. There's
this.
A lot.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're now into Saturday, so we're not even like, it's not even noon yet, and they didn't get a picture of him till noon, so it hasn't even been a full 3 or 4 days, whatever it is. That it's like the amount of tremendous, like I rarely see weak efforts with this.
Yeah, but
the number of like just fucking triples and home runs that have been hit with this fucking meme. It's like, I talked with Anthony. I actually talked about this on the last podcast, but it's just, there's so much, but it's in such a short amount of time that I feel like if I just send all of these, it's just like people are just going to start ignoring me, and that can't happen. Because then when we move on to something else, and again we're into the good, the fresh and new, and it's not all Bernie stuff. You might ignore it because it's like, oh, Ben sent me fucking 200 messages over the last like 4 days. So yeah,
Bernie hit his Austin 316 moment.
Oh my god! I made up. You didn't see it because you're not on Facebook, but I made a status thing that literally said last night, if this Bernie meme happened a year ago, he'd be president now.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. That would have been the kind of viral.
And someone was like, this doesn't get too political, but someone said like, oh, the Democrats would have still found a way to vilify him and whatever. I'm like, nope, this meme is too powerful.
I never felt they vilified him. I just felt they were like, nope,
no,
you're not the guy.
No, you. I mean, on the socialist extreme left.
Oh yeah,
progressiveness of him, they vilified him.
Oh yeah,
but but it's hard because he's like
he's such a
because he's so genuine. And he has been like for 40 years that like what he is, he still is and will be. Yeah. He's never changed his tune. You've never catch him in the hypocrisy really of it. And everyone's kind of come around to his thinking, or at least on the not so extreme stuff. And, on that path, you feel like in 10, 20 years, a lot of more people will embrace even the more extreme, side of his politics. That it's like, how do you fucking attack this guy?
He's like a living Muppet. I love the guy. I love him.
Yeah, he's definitely Waldorf or Statler.
Yeah, he's
the one on the left. The one I forget which one.
Yeah, the smaller one,
the thinner one,
the smaller one,
or the shorter one.
Yeah, shorter one. He's not a big. But there's no way Bernie Sanders is. He's got to be what?
Because I thought there was like the taller, thinner one, and the
taller, thinner one to me is like a Larry David.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Larry David is Bernie Sanders.
Fuck, that's right.
He plays him on Saturday Night Live, and in real life, they're actually like third cousins or something.
Of course they are.
They found out they were actually related. And I'm not making that up. I saw that like a year ago on YouTube.
That's something that can only happen to
They
Larry
like
David.
did some family tree shit, and they're like actually related. Oh, someone's getting a phone call.
Someone's calling me.
This unprofessional podcast. Are we taking it?
It's my sister.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hey Casey.
This is gonna be fun.
And how much I'm middle of doing my podcast. What's going?
Doing my podcast. Not our podcast.
All right, I'll give you a call after this. All right. All right, love you. Bye.
Oh, it's all better in the fucking Salvino household.
Hey,
everyone's
listen,
talking to each other again and
we're
playing kissy face and even saying "I love you."
Listen, a lot of things have happened, and
see this cold dead heart.
Yeah,
and my cold dead family. We don't.
Yeah,
the siblings. I don't think any of us say "I love you" to each other.
I'm very proud that I've rebuilt that bridge between my sister and I. That was like the thing in 2020 that I'm really proud that happened. So. This is all good stuff.
All right.
What?
I don't care.
I can't always hate everyone forever.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You create this image that like is like your wrestling character that you think is also your real character of like burning bridges and tearing people down and people hating you and throwing like nail bread at you and stuff and
nail bread.
I think we referenced nail bread in an earlier podcast.
I know. I don't think we'll ever stop referencing nail bread.
No, but I'm saying.
We talked about. No, we talked about that.
In case
match.
anyone doesn't remember, there was a bring weapons, bring your own weapon to the
Tomato Gate
to this wrestling match, and people brought all kinds of stuff. People threw tomatoes, so we actually refer to it as Tomato Gate. But someone got like one of those like Italian loaves of bread, like those kind of like longer, thin piece, like almost like a bigger like hoagie roll type of thing. And they put nails through it, so that sharp fucking nails are pointing out of it. And the best part was me watching someone try and throw it into the ring. I tried to stop the person, but they tried to throw the ring, and because they're wrestling fans and have no athletic inclinations at all, the fucking like 30 feet it would have to travel, it couldn't make it. It hit like the ring post and then came back and hit Ragusa in the head.
I'm changing. I think I'm changing my tune on how I feel about that match.
Well, enough time has passed.
Yeah, where I feel like that was a moment in time that would never have normally happened. It was just so many elements.
There you go.
From the right
like
place.
you've lived a colorful life.
Yeah,
and it gave you a colorful story.
Yeah.
Now, as you get removed from it, and you're no longer so mad about getting pelted with tomatoes, and
I don't think I'll ever be at ease with that.
it's like, I mean, someone from the audience, bro. Like, it wasn't even like
It was a fucking satchel of tomatoes.
like. Here's
man.
the thing: it was supposed to be like you bring your weapons,
Yeah.
and they put them somewhere, and then it's for you and your opponent
Yeah.
to work from. But in the audience, some guy just had a bag of tomatoes he was throwing from his seat. And they piled the weapons somewhere, and because there's no barricades or anything else, the fans were able to get a hold of them. You know, it was like, so that's why nailbread got thrown.
Fuck it. It all comes back to the nail bread.
Yeah, that and the bowling ball. There was a bowling ball to the crotch.
Oh my goodness!
That got rolled across the ring into the crotch. Was
That-
there a vacuum in that match?
Like in the vacuum from the 1970s, where I remember. I think it was Johnny. Johnny's like, let's use the vacuum. And I look over, I'm like, Johnny, what the fuck you want to do with that thing? Because it looks like it was one of these big 2-piece vacuum cleaners, and it looked like no matter what we would do, someone was going to get hurt.
Right.
like not like match stopping hurt, but nah, we're probably gonna visit the emergency room hurt. So it was kind of like, well, it's in the ring, we have to use it, but what the fuck do we do? And it's like one of those things, you know, wrestling's pretty simple, so you have all these different elements where you're like, I can give me a chair, give me a table, give me a nail bread. There's things you can do. Give me a giant 1970s yeah, I don't know. And there was fucking I think Randy was the ref.
Randy Eller.
Yeah, Randy Eller.
Probably.
I think he had pocketed like 5 or 6 razor blades and razor knives that had been thrown into the ring.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know they existed. After the match, he goes, "Hey guys, look what I collected while we were going around." I'm like, "What the fuck were they?" Dude, it was like this weird mob mentality. We were all in this tiny. There were so many elements that had to go right to make that happen. I almost lost it. The fucking AJ and CM Punk kid almost had a moment. There was a lot.
That kid. I could go on a whole.
Well, now he's a man, sir. He's like in his 20s.
But I don't know. Again, I don't know if he'll ever be a man because of the way he was raised. I don't know.
Fair enough.
This kid was man. I don't know whether I hope they're listening to this podcast or they're not. They don't ever hear it. But it was a kid that used to come to the shows when he was in his
super fan,
like early teens.
Yeah.
And
it was cool when he was like 13, 14.
Right.
But when he was like almost 17, still doing the gimmick,
right.
That was like,
well, he would come.
Are we making a wish?
He would come dressed up like his favorite wrestler, which was CM Punk, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, he was dressed just like him, had the fake beard Sharpied on or whatever the fuck they did, and whatever. But after like I said, after 2 years, you start getting comfortable. It's like this kid shouldn't be trick or treating anymore, kind of thing. And the parents, I felt like two things. Yes, it's kind of like once you're like recognized as that gimmick, like you see these guys front row at all these televised shows for years that dress like tie-dye guy or that green shirt fuck or sign guy. There's like these guys.
There you go. Best part about the pandemic. You don't have to see green shirt guy.
I don't have to see those super fans. But these super fans then, once they're recognized as that and get just a little bit of like, oh, you're that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Then for the end of time, they feel like they have to wear that outfit every time they're at the show so they get recognized as that guy. And the cycle continues and you build it and you become more well known as that guy and whatever. So this kid was on a micro level. And the Florida indie scene had become...
the South Florida indie scene.
Had become little CM Punk. And whatever. The irony is two things. One, CM Punk retired. And then the kid's dressed up as CM Punk for like 3 years afterwards. So the relevance of the reference is dying. And two, he's now growing up and you're like, why is this kid still dressing like this and stuff like that? And then you realize, you start watching the parents... And you start thinking, they're making him do it still.
Yep.
For some reason, they're like super fanning through him and getting to use him as the shield and not...
refusing to believe their child is growing up
No, it's not that.
Because I don't even think he wanted to do anything with the wrestling.
He didn't. Well, he might have, but then I bet he took a few bumps and decided this is not for me. But he got weeded out like Dave Johnson kicking Anthony till he bleeds, pisses blood. But that this kid, two things. It was that they were living vicariously through him, so that they didn't have to look like the marks. And two, the kid, you could tell on his face he didn't want to do stuff. There was a time where we were all hanging out after a show at like a restaurant, and like the inside crew, which I sort of became a part of from running Supercons and stuff and hanging out with you guys. I'd be like, we'd all be hanging out and talking about, and you'd at a peripheral, you'd have the other tables where like, because it would be a restaurant where you'd announce it at the show. Because it was like the official restaurant, and there was a little kickback.
We were like the giant shark, and they were the little lapras fish.
Well, what the thing is, you get a deal where the restaurant's paying you to have your after party there, because then you tell the fans, and then they come too. And so the fans would come to these things, and you'd see those fans would have their own little tables and stuff, and they would sometimes, and then they would interact with you at certain points. And I remember one time, I don't know who it was with, but the kid was coming up to go like, get a picture with someone or whatever, and he was real shy and timid and didn't want to do it. And the dad was like yelling at him, "Just go up there, go do it." And it's like the kid didn't want to do it, or the kid wasn't ready to do that. Now. Was shy or on the spectrum or whatever the fuck, and just wasn't want to be anywhere but going up to talk to this person. Yeah. Whether it was someone like you or if it was a real wrestler, I didn't. I'm sorry. That came out wrong. I'm sorry. I mean, a name outside of South Florida. Okay, that's better. All right, I feel that's better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
That was awesome.
That came out, and that was not what I intended, but it's fucking
not you. One of the real ones.
Yeah, but it's like... But I'm glad that that backhanded insult came out and we were all laughing.
I can't.
Of course, because you're self-aware.
Yeah, and what evidence, Ben?
Right.
Oh, hold on, Ben. Let me pull up my Monday Night Raw matches.
Right. Well, it's like, it's funny. Again, I want to take a second shot at you here, but I'm gonna. Was that for a time I'm like thinking, well, I mean, he's worked people like Tommy Dreamer or whatever. That's cool. But then like Tommy Dreamer, since he's worked you. Like I see other guys, I like scrolling through YouTube. All of a sudden I see like that guy worked with Tommy Dreamer last week.
Yeah, it makes it a lot less special when you're looking on YouTube.
Yeah, the polish on that metal is,
which is why I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, you don't want anyone to know you're wrestling anymore, let alone whatever. You were a wrestler,
but that Dreamer match was good. So
yeah. Oh, next to this one, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
and it's not even because of his declining abilities. It's also his dance partner.
That wasn't a match so far as it was an experience. I don't think they were tagged. There was nothing. We were just four guys in a ring, just like going like, "What is happening?" So we have to keep going to control this chaos because it really did feel at some point like people may rush the ring.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't feel like that to you guys.
No. You know what's funny? Like, unfortunately, you telling that way right now is almost putting me back to January 6th, watching it on TV. And now I could almost sort of maybe understand a little bit how people got caught up in that thing.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a world of difference between an indie wrestling show where basically some of those indie wrestlers were sitting next to them in the crowd 2 weeks ago watching and
the Capitol Hill.
Yeah, and fucking
but the mob mentality
and QAnon extremists and Looney Tunes actually thinking they have the right to storm the Capitol building. I mean, but when you said that and getting caught up, and when you said mob mentality, whatever, I thought back, I'm like, no, I felt that energy in the building too.
100%. And that mob mentality.
I hate that it is like that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
People just get really excited, and before long, there's a torch in their hand, and they don't even know what happened.
Oh,
God.
Here we go, burning Jews again.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't
know. That was left field even for you, Ben.
I watched Jojo Rabbit last night again.
Oh, okay.
I had a little Hitler on the brain.
Oh, shit.
This podcast just got canceled.
We were canceled episodes ago, buddy. Episodes ago. But we got
because all those times I said I was going to edit that thing out, I never did. Or
yeah,
forgot.
whatever. I don't care, man. Look, okay, we're just trying to get through our days.
As long as we have our strong original 11 listening, our power 11.
Is it 11?
I don't know. I totally randomly made that number up. But I've been using that number since day one, so why not keep it?
Man, we can't make it like a dirty dozen or some shit?
No, it's got to be some fucked up weird number.
Power 11?
Not divisible by anything.
Fucking Power 11. I like it.
That's yeah.
Who the fuck drinks this fucking bullshit
Coke Zero?
Coke Zero?
I'll drink. That to me they taste the same. Coke Zero, Diet Coke, they taste the same to me.
Oh yes, but don't you dare tell me that Coke Zero and Coke taste the same, because I'll kick you off a bridge.
I wouldn't.
Because that's what the thing is. That's what everyone says. Everyone's like, it's just like the same. I'm like,
But
no, it really isn't.
But I don't drink Coke, so like I don't drink. I mean, once like in college,
Ben doesn't drink. The only orifice that Coke goes in Ben is the nose.
How dare you?
But you don't, so it's
it's funny because I don't.
I've never seen you do it anyway.
Like 3 times. It was shitty Coke. I was like, what's the reason for this? The regular, I haven't drinking like regular soda in like fucking 25 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one day while I was at college, it's like, let me just start drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And for like 2 weeks, we have a vending. We actually had a vending machine in our
Dorm.
It's a dorm. Like it's kind of a dorm. It's like a old building, a big old like house that got converted into a bunch of little like rooms and stuff.
Like Animal House.
It's not a fraternity, but something in the middle. But let's call it a dorm.
Okay.
And they have a soda machine in there, so I just started buying the diets that regular. And for 2 weeks, it was hell, choking them down. And then one day I forgot I didn't like it anymore, and I was used to it, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Wow.
But I mean, there's just so many like. If you're gonna be drinking, not to get preachy or anything, but if you're gonna be drinking beverages, if they're not going to, get you inebriated, what's the point of drinking all those empty calories?
Yeah,
it just makes you fat boy. So, so like Coke and juice and Gatorades and all that stuff, nothing. Even like now when we go out drinking, I drink the hard because it's like vodka and that stuff. There's no calories, like beer and stuff like that. It just I was like after like 5 of them, I just feel bloated and swollen and it's just like so so I don't even know how we got on that. Oh, because I was watching you drink the bottle.
Yeah, you're watching me.
Where did we go? We ended up back at Coke Zero, and I don't even, like we took a real long meandering road to get there, and I don't think any of the things we segued into or took a fucking like 270-degree tangent on. Like we finished any of those stories, any of them.
Listen, this is just a
I'm gonna be listening,
open peeks into our minds.
I'm gonna be listening back to just like because like when I upload the podcast, you put like a couple bullet points of what you talked about and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, holy shit, what the fuck? There's like 20 things here, and we didn't really talk about any of them. We just brought them up.
And it's funny because I was about to go on a tangent about because I was like, I've loved Coke a long time, which is why I hate this so much.
Oh,
because I'm like,
you get it. If you just drank,
I'd kill for regular Coke.
If you just drank that for 2 weeks, you'd be fine.
Ugh. The problem, Ben, is regular Coke tastes so good.
I wouldn't, dude. I listen. I don't know what I'm missing because I don't drink it anymore. And when I do actually get a sip of it from like if I was at a restaurant and I said I'll have a diet soda and they bring me a regular one, I know it right away. It kicks me in the teeth. It's like when I get iced tea, I get it without sugar. And if there's even if they put like a lemon in it, it's sweet. Sometimes sweetens it up too much. Where when I take a sip, I think they gave me they gave me sweet tea, and I have to have someone else try it. They go, no, that's fucking unsweet. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
So my taste buds have been rearranged where I don't like that super sweet stuff anymore.
And see, my whole life, I remember when I was like 14, 15, I worked with my dad every summer, and I had money, and dude, I would go through like a 12-pack of Coke a day. Like, I would drink soda. Like, all I would drink.
Well, that's what I used to do, but it was diet soda.
Yeah, it was just.
I was like I was the Donald Trump of my household.
Like, that was my diet.
All I was missing was the button on the desk. Have you heard of that?
Yes, and they removed it.
The Diet Coke. I mean, he could have turned it into a
anything else button.
Right.
Like, every time he presses it, someone gets $1,000. I don't know.
That sounds like the Andrew Yang button.
But it's that's funny. That's funny. The Diet Coke button. But no, it's just, I don't know, man.
I love
was
one
my
right
diet.
by my bedside.
And it was a secret to my weight gain in my 20s because I couldn't gain weight to save my life. And then I talked to somebody one day, and obviously all I did was drink Coke. And he was like, "How many of those you drink a day?" And I was like, "Oh, like 12." He's like, "What?" He's like, "You don't have diabetes?" I'm like, no." And he goes, "Huh? Well, you need to stop that shit. And if you ever want to gain weight, you also have to stop that shit." And, you know, I cut out Coke to, like, I think.
Have you ever seen what it does to a penny?
I've heard that. I'm like, well, my body's not a penny. I'm the furthest thing from a penny.
I have
no copper in here. We're good to go. And, yeah, and when I started gaining weight, I was like, oh. Like, my first bit of health knowledge and like, diet knowledge was, don't drink 12 Cokes a day. That's a bad idea. And we went from
what
there.
did they say? Drink blended chicken breast instead, or something?
No, that didn't happen until much later. And then you had to put the warning label, must cook chicken first.
Well, not for you. You're not an idiot.
No.
Who did that?
Do I want to say his name?
Fuck it.
I think it was Boom.
I think it was Jeff Boom.
I think
Drew said it was Jeff Boom. That he was like, he gave him like a dietitian, like a diet to do for whatever workout and diet thing. And like,
I love telling that story.
Like, after a couple of days, he's like, yeah, it's going good, except this chicken thing's really hard. Oh, well, it's hard to blend with you. You're supposed to cook it? It was something along those lines. It's like he was eating raw chicken. He was blending raw chicken breast.
And I did like Drew told us in person, didn't he?
Yeah.
And because Drew's facial expressions whenever he tells a story like that, they are worth.
Especially when he's reacting to something someone said in the story.
His face when he said when he brought you're supposed to blend the chicken. I mean, you're supposed to cook the chicken was priceless.
Now I know Bruce Lee did that with beef.
He would just fucking.
But I don't know if he did it raw or not. But beef you can kind of sometimes get away with. I mean,
He blended?
Oh, yeah. Because again, he was a very small guy.
He was like 145.
But he was small, like frame.
Yeah.
And small, but he got jacked.
Yeah.
And like that last movie, those Cobra Hood lats and all that stuff, they were saying that he was like way ahead of his time with nutrition stuff and doing the protein, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, again, a martial artist that was borrowing from everything. He's borrowing from bodybuilders. Yeah. He was borrowing from, all these different things to incorporate into his own personal style and system and whatever. And that he was making these like shakes that had like beef in them, to get more protein in him. Because I guess back in the early 70s, that you didn't.
So you're telling me that
they didn't have did they do protein powder and shit like that?
So you're telling me that Bruce Lee looked like Bruce Lee because of blended beef and cigars? Because that was his diet. Because remember, he was very big into cigars.
I don't.
That was one of the things where like
he might have been into cigars once he became successful.
That was that was one of those things that I remember reading about him was like I'm almost certain again we're doing no research into some of this, but I'm almost certain I remember that he was really big into cigars. Like it was a problem. I don't know if it was whiskey too.
No, he's no.
I definitely know it was big in cigars. Like that was like a big thing for him. Because like the two people when you say like like when cigar aficionado, I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger and I think of fucking Bruce Lee.
I've never thought of him.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That's weird.
Like it's
because I used to, like at one point I was really heavily into
pictures of him with a stogie is like that's a badass who just like fuck man, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love Bruce Lee.
But yeah, the bun. I think chicken has, eating raw chicken has way more perils than eating raw beef. You never hear of a dish that's, like you hear of dishes where the beef is raw. I've never heard them serving raw chicken where that was a good idea. Yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess I should throw this out. Every time I look at this Mega Millions loser ticket here, I get annoyed. I did look on the thing that
We could just start robbing people.
I don't think that involves a lot of work.
It involves effort.
Yeah.
How's the stocks, buddy?
I mean, they're fine. I'm doing good. I sent you the thing. I don't know if you signed up for it yet.
I have not.
You should.
I listen, dude. I
know.
I finally got paid yesterday, so
Mazel tov.
yeah. So. The world is starting to click again.
Yeah, I just I get annoyed when I actually buy lottery tickets and they don't hit. So that's
I always, every time I've ever bought, and I don't buy lottery tickets, but for some reason in the last 2 weeks I was like, you know what? When it gets above 500 million, it's worth just to lie to myself that there's an opportunity or chance.
I mean, what's the difference? What is the difference? Like, is it any? Are you going to be any less happy if you won $5 million off of like a just some jabroni week where it started over?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I can tell you. You'd be just as happy.
I would.
Just as happy because the initial life changes would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I quit, motherfucker. and then a little buying spree, and then settling into some kind of semblance of responsibility.
Because everyone's like, well, $5 million doesn't seem that much. I'm like, motherfucker, you can do a lot with $1 million. $1 million will change any human being's life who isn't already apt to being in that lifestyle.
So that's why, like, when I used to play every week, I would, buy them twice a week or whatever it is, and I had the little thing with the numbers. I'll always play the same numbers because your odds are better that way. And but then I stopped, and then I wasn't even gonna entertain these Powerball, these Mega Million fucking monster numbers. Well, like one was at like 800 million, this one was $1 billion or something. Yeah, it's like like I'm gonna. Like, now I'll get off the couch and go get a ticket. Yeah. It's like it's not worth a specific trip. If it wasn't worth a specific trip for $1 million, why is it worth more for? It's the same to me. Yeah. But my roommate was going. He's like, "You want to go?" I go, "No, but I'll give you $2. Get me one." I was like, "No, I don't want to go anywhere."
I want to make this money with the least effort possible.
Well, yeah. And then I looked them up online, and I was a little confused. Yeah, because it shows like, it gives all the trickle down, like all the payouts, like 2 out of 6, $0. You start seeing the money if you hit just that special. I don't even know, it was the Powerball number, the Mega Ball number, or when you start getting like 3 out of 6 or so, 3 out of 5. I don't know what it was, but at the top, like for the $1 billion prize. Or the mega winner, whatever you call it, because I guess the $1 billion prize is chopped up amongst all those payouts, so you're not getting $1 billion. But it didn't say how many people won it.
I thought it was one person won the Powerball.
I mean, someone must have, because it said next week it's back down to like 20 million. But it didn't say 1 or 2 or whatever. It didn't have any payout information it had the payout information, but didn't have a number of people who won it. Yeah. But every other slot, it had, like, for the next one down, if you got all 6 except the Mega Ball, it had that 2 people won it for like $2 million.
Does that come out of that billion?
Yeah, it's all out of that same billion. Oh. So I don't know. So, I mean, I guess someone won it if the next week it's back down to 20 million, unless they have some rule like at 1 billion, if if we don't hit, everyone else gets their little payout, and then we pocket the rest for quote unquote schools, down here or whatever the lottery money's supposed to go to. But it didn't have. It may just be a glitch. I assume someone won it if it got reset. Yeah, but it wasn't me. If my roommate got it, I know I'm getting a nice little chunk. We kind of we always do that fucking dumbass shit. Well, if I win, I'll give you $5 million.
I'll buy you a pony, Ben.
Yeah, I don't want a pony. Like that. You understand what a money pit a fucking horse is?
Yes, I worked around them.
Unless you're gonna buy me up, unless you're gonna get me a horse and then pay for all the fucking maintenance, upkeep.
I give you a one-way trip to a glue factory.
Stabling.
Brand new, fresh bottle of glue, sir.
Our dog will never go hungry again. Kibble for life.
Oh,
I wonder how many horses a dog eats in its life through cheap Chinese dog food.
You know what? This is
how did we get on this?
Here's an odd thing that I know. Most dog food now is 100% what they claim to be because they have to be because of all the issues they've had in the past with that. So very rarely do you have that off-brand food.
Red dye number 5.
Yeah, get through because most dog food has to go through so many fucking like tests and shit. It's mostly all natural shit, man.
Yeah.
Because they just had that problem where they take a shortcut, then like 500 fucking dogs die and all these lawsuits drop.
I mean, sawdust isn't toxic unless the tree they cut it from is. So if your dog food's like 80% sawdust, it's at least coming from a healthy tree, non-toxic tree.
The craziest thing is the freeze-dried shit. Like
this is your Chewy education.
Yeah, this is part. Yeah, this is all part about my Chewy experience. The freeze-dried stuff, man. You order it, and they have a 36-hour window to get it to you because they ship it frozen.
Yeah,
and they've got fucking dry ice containers that they put it in,
like those meal deliveries,
like a fucking human heart. Yeah,
I used to get those.
Yeah. So
I used to have fun with the dry ice more than the food they said.
So like working was
like
great.
Butcher Box. Or
People would call me with like 3 or 4 hours to go for the delivery, panicking. Oh my god, my food! It's my food. You know, I need the food for fucking, Pupso, and what the fuck am I gonna do?
Pupso.
I don't know. I just fucking made up a dog name.
That's of all the random off the cuff dog names you could come up with.
It's Pupso. I don't fucking know.
I demand that when your new family gets their little dog,
it has to be called Pupso.
If it's not, I'm gonna make sure it ends up being called that because I'll just call it Pupso all the time in front of other people until it catches. I ever tell you I accidentally named my friend's dog.
What?
He got a baby bulldog.
Okay.
And I was living at his house at the time, and he had 2 other dogs and whatever, but he got this baby bulldog, and he was trying to name it something else, and I just was calling it Chubbs for 2 weeks. It was like a chubby little bulldog. He gave up and just started calling it Chubbs, and
because the dog would only answer to Chubbs.
Well, I don't know that it was. I mean, 2 weeks. I don't think it even knew what I was saying, but it may have been the way I was saying it.
Exactly.
He would get excited and run over.
Because they match your.
But I wasn't trying to do it. I was just that's just the nickname in my head.
It's
gave
the first thing that just shot in your head.
Because I couldn't remember whatever dumb name he was trying to call, like Joshua or something. Something human. That's dumb. Don't give him human names unless there's a few human names you give a dog, but don't give a dog a human name. Anthony. Don't call your dog Anthony. That's fucking retarded.
Luckily, our Anthony named his dog Bacon, so we're good.
See, that's a fucking dog name.
That's a good dog name.
That's a dog name.
It's a very good dog name.
Yeah. Wait, how do we get to dogs? I'm so lost on this podcast. I'm not even high.
I know.
I am barely woken up. But
yeah.
Here's the thing: when you messaged me, I wrote in response to you because I had to do a full head to toe assessment.
Yeah.
I had just gotten out of bed. I wasn't sure.
I didn't even know if you'd see it immediately. I figured it's
gonna be like last week. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I had to take a morning shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on, so I was like, and I kind of wiggled my body around a little bit. I didn't jump up and down, but I kind of bounced on my toes a little bit just to see what I could shake around in me, see if because I didn't want to have one of those. I mean, we've done it before, but a podcast that gets either paused or just ended early because because of gastrointestinal issues. So I was like, oh, all right. I feel like maybe we could test it. And then I like almost instinctually went to go make a cup of coffee and realized that's the wrong idea. That's not.
That's not the harbinger of doom right there when it comes to ending a podcast.
Yeah, he's like, that's not the way to go. So, I decided to do that after we're done here, which means I'm not functioning on any caffeine right now, which is why I'm losing track when we go from topic to topic.
Well, okay, we can pretty much end soon, but
we have football today, huh?
No, we have football tomorrow. 1 p.m. and 6 p.m.
It's only 2 games? It's
the championship games.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I thought we had another. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got any predictions?
Yeah, I think. I want. But in my heart, I feel that Green Bay is going to send Tom Brady home.
So.
And I think the Cinderella story continues, and the Bills handle the Chiefs.
So I agree with you 100% on the Bills. Bills and Chiefs?
Because
the Chiefs, even...
Are they letting anyone in the stands at the Chiefs game? Like a big crowd or...
I don't believe a big crowd.
And here's the other thing.
There'll be a crowd.
Granted, there's a little bit of a home field advantage, but part of that home field advantage is not the cold when you're dealing with the Bills.
Yeah.
Which, like, if Tampa went to play KC and it was... obviously, weather's not -20, but let's say it was. That would be an advantage for KC because it's
why playing in Buffalo and Green Bay in the wintertime is such an advantage for them.
But I feel that Mahomes has had some average games or some average halves and things.
The last 5 games, they haven't been convincing, Ben.
Yeah. And
we don't know about his ankle and toe. We don't. Yeah,
that's true.
He's back from the concussion, but
that's right. All that stuff too.
So
I didn't even think about that when I put that.
Yeah,
in.
man.
I just thought like that the Bills have all the
and
momentum.
Cleveland played a bad game and still almost beat them.
Yeah.
So
the Dolphins almost beat them.
The Dolphins almost beat them. The Bills are a different animal, man.
Yeah. The Bills never blinked.
And here's the thing: like all this week, I was listening to ESPN radio, and they had all the ex-Bills on, like from the championship years.
The not championship years? You mean the 4
not
losing Super Bowl years?
The 4 Super Bowl years,
right.
And those guys are super fired up about.
Oh
this.
no, I know.
Super fired up because this is their first, and this is a legitimate opportunity for them to like. If the Bills organization is just going to win a Super Bowl out of nowhere, this is the year for it to happen. Because Josh Allen's playing out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
That team is firing in all cylinders. And they were one of 3 teams entering the playoffs where I was like they're marching straight to the Super Bowl. It was them, same. Tampa Bay, and the Packers. Green Bay, man, that's the game where I'm like,
that's one I don't have any science to back it. I just believe in Aaron Rodgers this year. He's the magic man.
Ever since
and their defense has played well in the playoffs.
Ever since they chose Jordan Love in that first round. Aaron Rodgers has played like a pissed off team. I mean, he is on another level, man. He just, the commercial where because he does the insurance commercials.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, well, thanks for the insurance rate, so I'll go light on you today. And then the guy tells him, no, everyone gets that rate. He goes, oh, yeah. And then he hits it. He's like, that's
the Rodgers rate.
And he like it's almost as if like Jordan Love was. He goes, okay, you want to replace me? Replace this
now. Here's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because, is it Allstate that they do the ad for? Is that?
No, it's the Progressive rate.
Is it Progressive?
I think it's Progressive.
Maybe the guy's wearing a red shirt. Yeah. I don't remember what it was. Well, let's just say that I bet you they're really hoping and maybe like feeding some money for a Rodgers versus what's his name, Mahomes, since those are their 2 spokesmen in their commercials.
They're having wet dreams every night, buddy.
Could you imagine?
Every night.
They're 2 pitchmen. They're 2 NFL pitchmen. The only 2 NFL pitchmen they have could be facing each other in the Super Bowl.
They're going to touch themselves if that happens,
Oh,
buddy.
my God. Like, lots of all over the body. Like, they might buy, like, 6 ads during that. 6 $5 to $10 million ads for that Super Bowl.
They've got another 2 years, unless, like, one of them ends up murdering their spouse or fucking family. They've got 2 years of perfect advertising with those 2.
I might buy stock in that company if that's what happens this week.
You just sit on that button, and the second the results come in, just start pressing buy.
Well, I got to buy a Monday morning, but
yeah.
I guess I could put the order in early, but
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of those things where Tampa Bay, I believe, is the better team, but they're in Green Bay, and Rodgers, he doesn't seem to be playing by anyone else's fucking rules.
I haven't looked at the weather reports. I don't know if either of these games is all I know is I look outside and it's supposed to be like high 70s later today.
Dude, he pistol whipped the Bears with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that game was. I don't care what the score was but it's just one of those things where it's like he's playing as if like, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. He doesn't seem to like. He's just like in this zone that only like a few people even probably get to in their lives. And I between the cold and that, man, shit. I just
don't know how cold it's gonna be.
Don't
look it up.
Okay.
That goes against our our policies here.
I was like, reach for my phone. Yeah, man, that's gonna be the interesting game.
If you've been listening to ESPN all week and they haven't been talking about expecting bad weher, then there's probably not gonna be cold and bad weather.
Yeah,
you're probably
that's true. That's true. All anyone's talked about is that the experts, as they were, they've all said that game's gonna come down to turnovers. Apparently Tom Brady has never lost a postseason game when he's won the turnover battle.
I mean, that makes sense.
He's 18-0.
Yeah.
They were also talking about how Tom Brady's had more playoff game victories than most teams' histories that combined or some shit. It's fucking insane. And then fucking Aaron Rodgers, there's like, well, we can't really explain it, but Aaron Rodgers, the blah, 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 he's the clear MVP. But
because he's doing it with less talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no around. Just get Devontae Adams and everyone else he's created.
Right.
Pretty much. At least as far as I'm concerned. Like if you told me anyone else, I forgot Jones, the running back, I know too.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be exciting. I kind of like
that has an opportunity being like an all-time kind of championship game.
Because I'm more of a like during the week when I'm not riding around with you for 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I don't like listen to sports radio. I don't watch ESPN. I have the news on. I'm a news junkie.
Yeah.
And I'll watch the news, and so I don't.
We were walking by the other night.
I kind of like forget until the weekend that football's still going, but then I get excited for it again.
We were walking by the other night to the mailbox. The door was open. I'm like, oh, Ben's watching this Rachel Maddow.
Was that what was on? No, here's what happens.
I just assume you leave the TV on and it's just on.
Yeah, after like 7.
Yeah.
When it's not news anymore, when it's like a little bit more like opinion and like more like
it's when the Tucker Carlsons and the Rachel Maddows
they're going more in depth on stories that you heard about earlier in the day that you don't need. Like I'm like, all right, I get the headline. I don't need the details. That sometimes after 7, I'm just on the computer or something and it's on and I look up and all of a sudden it's like 10 or 11 at night and it's still on that channel and I'm like, I think I heard some of what happened in the last 3 hours on this on the TV, but was that what was on when you walked by?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't even realize that it's playing that loud that you could hear it out there. Or did you just see the TV?
I could just see the TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I'm not like a huge I'm not like a Rachel Maddow fan.
No. And the only other thing, man, is tonight's McGregor.
Yeah, I can't tell you how, again, because I don't listen to sports radio and I don't watch ESPN, I've seen and heard nothing about it. I literally was on Facebook last night and scrolling through, I saw one thing about it, and it was from Conor McGregor's page, And then I realized I follow him. And I was like, oh, maybe I should unfollow him because I just don't care anymore. I think, to me, his heat's kind of sizzled a lot, fizzled a lot. I don't think he's going to draw the numbers he used to.
I'm going to tell you that this pay-per-view, it's a toss-up because...
Are you watching it?
So I don't know.
Well, you are still employed, so
I don't know if I want to spend $70, man.
is it that much?
It's $69.
It's so annoying.
It's
so annoying that for some reason, ESPN that has like the exclusive with them on and if you subscribe to the ESPN app,
yeah,
you get a certain level, but then you still have to pay for the pay-per-views.
yeah, double pay.
Like because we're like WWE guys who, if you buy that network, you get everything.
Yep.
For like, what is it, $10 or whatever?
Yeah.
You get everything.
And you can talk all this shit about WWE. That part of is ingenious.
Yeah.
Absolutely ingenious. And the fact that it's still $9.99.
Is it?
I don't know if it.
I don't even know. These things
But
auto debit from my account. I never even. I just see WWE. I'm like, okay. I don't look at the price. I know the price range of these things. I know when I signed up for them, I agreed to it. If they raised it by $1 or $2, I'm still like okay with it because if I wasn't using the app, I'd have stopped payment on it. So it's like I don't.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm bad. I've never balanced a checkbook in my life.
But yeah, it's annoying. So I don't know, but it's like one of those things where like there's been advertising, but like even on ESPN, they've talked about it.
Yeah,
it's being advertised, and they do the reads. The bigger shows will do the hourly reads on it, and then they'll riff on it. But everybody was far more interested in what's going on in the NFL this week.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about fighting because here's the thing: you've got Conor McGregor, you've got fucking Dustin Poirier, and you've got Michael Chandler coming over his first fight against fucking Christ, dude. He's going to beat Dan Hooker, and then there's nothing.
Yeah, but to me, the
but those are the only things that have any even to the fighting world.
Yeah,
there's the undercard is underwhelming, and Michael Chandler coming over is like. Yeah, that's great, but you're having him fight Dan Hooker, that's a fluff fight. Like, if he's everything he's supposed to be, he easily wins this fight.
Yeah, see, I don't know any of that stuff. I don't follow it at all.
And I'm not the hardcore fight fan I was even like 6 months ago.
Because
I'm just
same. I'm not either. And it's half of it's I think they haven't been putting out great stuff, but also these hurdles you have to go through to watch the shit now. Like there's no. It's rare that it's even on free ESPN, and when it is, apparently I've just decided there's better things to do than watch those fights. And then if it's on the app, which I have, because it's part of like that Disney Hulu bullshit, I never switch to watch it, let alone pay to watch the big ones. So I'm so out of it that when you start naming these names, they don't even have an impact for me. Even the ones that I recognize, I'm like, well, I don't even know what's going on with these guys.
It's an interesting fight.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's a big Sunday.
Yeah,
there's a lot of big free entertainment Sunday. There's no reason to pay for it on Saturday.
And here's the thing: it's like, okay, we all know Conor McGregor's fought exactly once in fucking 3 years, and that was like. What was it, 20 seconds when he fucking caught Cerrone with that elbow early in like the opening round. So he's really not really fought in a few years. He just that was just out of it happened. It's one of those weird things that can happen. But like Poirier's fight a bunch. He took Khabib in the 4th round, and even though the result was the same as the Khabib and Conor, I mean, I think Poirier's a better fighter. So Conor's probably going to lose this. And then, what's he worth? He has to win.
His stock is diminished over the
years.
He
has to win this fight because my idea is Dana's thought process is Conor wins, Michael Chandler wins, and then you do Conor and Michael Chandler, and you announce it within like 48 hours, and you build that fight up, and that's interesting.
If anyone's watching this one.
People will because Conor still draws, but this is Conor.
I will be surprised to see what he draws compared to his last.
Well, you say that, but Conor's coming off that 26-second knockout of fucking Cerrone, so
which I didn't watch either.
He's coming off a big victory, even though it's a year later.
Which against a guy that honestly, like Cerrone, I don't have a problem with the guy. I like the guy, and I like the fact that he takes a fight on a moment's notice anytime.
But he was a tune-up fight for Conor.
But I feel that's exactly it. I don't
Yeah.
feel like that fight had any. At 26 seconds, I didn't blink because I feel like that's not the first time Cerrone's been knocked out early because he takes so many fights. He doesn't say no. He's just a good soldier, but he's not a top. He's not an elite tier guy.
Plus, he's like 37.
Right. All of that.
Yeah.
He's so. When you got a guy that's had I don't know how many fights he's had. Let's pretend he's got 35 fights.
Yeah.
He probably has more because he never says no. Dude, his button's been found.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now all you have to do is tap it and he'll go down. I mean, there are guys like that we're indestructible. And as soon
He's
as
he's at the Chuck Liddell point of his
exactly.
career.
As soon as you find that button, it's done.
It's true. I just think like this is the last time.
I'm saying that Conor coming off a spectacular quick knockout off of him, to me, it doesn't have that weight to it.
But maybe not to you, but Conor is still an attraction.
I guess.
But he's at the point now where deliver. And I'm not saying Cerrone wasn't a delivery, but it was Cerrone. The outcome was expected.
No,
there's a lot of people that are like, you're not going to do that to fucking Dustin Poirier.
No, if you're putting him at the top of the draw of the industry, that's a space reserved for winners who fight elite talent. It's like every other person that you would put in that list have earned it. I don't feel like he's earned it anymore.
Well, he's
only earned it with his talk.
We forget two things. One, Conor's really only in this position because he hasn't been active. And two, his last two defeats was the bullshit Floyd Mayweather fight, which that was just for them both to make $100 million. Let's stop acting like that was anything more than that. Yeah, Conor tried, but he had no shot. Everyone knew he had no shot. It's Floyd Mayweather. Stop. Hate the man all you want. He's as good as advertised.
Yeah, that felt like the Tyson exhibition.
Yeah, stop with that nonsense. That was just a payday for the two of them, where they had to breathe heavy at the end of it, okay? And two, his last legitimate loss was to fucking Khabib. Khabib beats everybody. It doesn't matter. And he went 4 rounds. He actually is one of two people to win a round against Khabib, the other being Dustin Poirier. And Dustin...
Yeah, but I'm just like, that was so long ago at this point.
Exactly, because at the time, you feel as if Conor's not a draw, but he is.
I don't know. I think people have short memories.
And if he wins in great, convincing, spectacular fashion... He's back on the gravy train.
But isn't there an argument that parallels the wrestling world? Like, nobody wants to go away for too long because they don't want to lose their heat. They don't want to lose their heat.
And he flirts with that. He's been flirting with that because for a lot of people, including you and I, but
I'm just because I never see him anymore. Yeah. I'm less interested in him.
You know, he's made his money. He's doing this really just at this point.
I'd like to see the financials on his
he's making
on his whiskey. I wonder what he's making on that. Yeah. And I know he had and here's another problem. You need to be out and be seen for that stuff. I'm sure he's selling a gazillion bottles of that whiskey, but he also had started another business. I'm sure he's in a lot of businesses, but I know another business he did was the suits. Like, he got into a tailor, and kind of bought into that.
He's a very well dressed man.
But if you're not showing up to 3 or 4 fights a year and doing the presses, whatever, with all these snazzy suits, and you're not being seen in them. Like, when you're being seen more in your fucking fancy suit punching an old guy out at the bar.
Yeah.
Sucker punching an old guy out at the bar, then at your weigh-ins and you're this and you're that. I don't know. Like you would think for his own side businesses, he'd fight more.
He does a lot.
He should fight more just for that.
I think he's been spending a lot of time in kind of... Yeah, I think...
Is he clear, or is he just busy clearing his name and rape allegations?
That's what I think he spent this time of what... Because I think he had intended to fight a lot after the
because you feel like strike when the iron's hot.
What's his face? Cerrone. After the Cerrone fight, I really think he wanted to fight more, but then he had all that shit happen again. And I think that may have been... He may have just walked away to be like... let the heat die down because no one's talking about. There was that one allegation that, that one lawsuit.
They're not going to let me back in or out of the country if I've got these pending charges on me.
Yeah, shit. So Yeah, man. It's
Yeah, maybe it is that kind of stuff. I don't know.
where he's been shooting himself in the foot, man. You know, because you gave a poor fucking Irish dude who, for all intents, really like was going nowhere until he became Conor McGregor, which, right place, right time. Everybody wanted his shtick, and it worked.
Right.
And he won in the fashion that he won. Everything worked out. Because listen, none of this. We wouldn't talk about any of this if he did not get Jose Aldo in under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
With that fucking counterpunch. Like
We
that
might have,
started everything.
Because because he can talk so well that
No.
he may have
If he'd have went to a hard fought split decision with Jose Aldo, it would have been a different Conor McGregor because he wouldn't have been able to be the Conor that we got.
like it ever stops him. When he loses 2 in a row, he's still with the hey diddly dee doobity doobity doo whatever.
He's a lot
he
more
talks
reserved
about.
this time though. Then I think that's another reason why there's not excitement because Conor McGregor hasn't done the traditional.
Wouldn't it be
shit.
funny? Wouldn't it be funny if he was like, "Well, Dana, $50 million gets me to show up and fight. If you want me to also promote the fight, I want another 20."
It might be one of those deals.
Because I know The Rock and Kevin Hart are like that when they agree to do a movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes those people think, oh well, but they've got this huge social media, they'll promote it and it'll be always free. And they're like,
that costs a little extra.
they're like, no.
I need a little bit of sugar on top.
Absolutely. They're like, yeah, that's a whole nother tier of the payment plan.
Put some whipped cream on my icing.
Yeah, right. That's the way it works.
No,
Maybe
it's fucking
Connor's
smart.
Maybe Connor's like,
Dude, could you imagine what it would feel like to be able to be in that position?
no, I can't. It's like asking me if I can imagine taking a rocket ship to Mars.
Yeah.
It's so inaccessible and unachievable for me at this point in my life.
Ben doesn't dream dreams.
I can believe more that this ticket will win me $1 billion.
Ben stopped believing.
Way more than I can believe I'd ever be in that position. That $1 billion wouldn't even buy me into that position.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't build the infrastructure to get you close.
That's what's funny about it. So no, I can't.
That's fair. I can't either. I mean, I can assume how I would react to that kind of power, but come on, man.
Power.
It's like
Unlimited power.
Unlimited. But it's just like we were talking about earlier. When my dad told me, it's like everything changes when you're gonna have a kid, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Ha ha ha. No, and then oh, you're gonna have a kid. Like, oh shit.
Oh, can we get a fruit update or
we can.
A random object update?
We can update of the
Let's
week.
close it with the random object update.
Random object of the week update. Okay.
Your child is the size of
okay.
a thimble, a spool of thread,
Okay. So your child is the size as a large strawberry.
a large strawberry.
Mm-hmm. A Hot Wheels car, or your baby is as big as Groucho Marx's mustache.
How see, this is
And this is the picture, Ben.
is that all three of them right there?
No, it's the car and the fruit.
So I don't forget, message me those three items. That might be the title of this podcast. See, random. I love that. Like, we don't really officially do segments, but I think we've now transitioned into a segment. I think random.
I think we do like soft segments where we just
random object of the week is fantastic. Like, your child is these three completely unrelated things.
Oh, and okay, so onto this, and I know this would segue into something else. I don't know if you want to. If it naturally happens, fine. We don't have
sure
to.
it will.
We were watching WandaVision last night, and because of the whole baby shit, I kept looking over at Natalia. I'm like, "You taking notes? You taking notes?" And she's laughing. I'm like, "Nah, listen, she's going through it. She's going through a what was barely 24-hour pregnancy."
Yeah, a very accelerated pregnancy.
Only thing I'll say about that show is get to it.
Yeah,
Fucking get to it.
There's nothing to talk about.
It's tedious as fuck.
There's nothing
get
to talk to it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it already.
Yeah.
Now move on.
Yeah.
We understand the setup is almost like if next week it's not like really we're at least elbow deep.
We need to get in the weeds, man. We need to get in the weeds.
Yeah, we need to get it. Yeah. This is.
I don't want this to be a thing.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
some people probably have.
And two,
Yeah.
it's just gonna make us mad.
Well, that and there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on in the show.
Absolutely
So,
nothing.
all right.
Well, they gave birth to part of the Young Avengers.
I guess theoretically, we assume that's where it's going.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like I've
Yeah, there's nothing else, man. There's nothing.
I mean, it's not like we actually.
All I'm thinking about right now is food.
Yeah. What are you getting?
We can talk about it off air. I don't know. I don't have any thoughts. I just realized.
I feel like there's now 2 things we can't talk. There's 4 things now. It's 4 things we can't talk about now. There's politics, there's religion, there's Marco's work, and there's food. And food. We can't talk.
I would love to talk about food, man.
Food is not off the table because Anthony would throw a fit.
But here's the problem: food's not off the table, but would require pants, like real pants. And I don't know if I'm ready to
Would
make
they?
that.
But would they?
Like if we go to Flanagan's, I can't wear this.
Oh. You said Flanagan.
I know.
We got to go, people. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.